DEIC President has some advice for government while it prepares to create 1,100 jobs. Urgent help needed for a displaced disabled man to relocate to his home. And beware of mold infestation, the Environmental Health Department cautions. Welcome to the Channel 5 News. I am Idona John Baptist. We'll be back with the details after this.
M&J Covering is the producer of designed galvanized and galvalume in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length, 4 styles of galvanized and galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested, and supply all your galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth or call 445-5001-275-5003 today.
Thanks for staying with us. First up, President of the DEIC, Rudolf Thomas, said while government prepares to create 1,100 jobs, it has to be mindful that venture is a recurrent expenditure. Thompson commented on the launch of the initiative in response to a question by Channel 5 News on whether the DEIC buys into the idea.
I don't think it's a case of us having to buy in. I think it would be a situation of persons themselves asking, is it a smart action in the sense of what is financing these jobs? Where is the funding coming from to finance these jobs?
The businesswoman said it would be wise for the authorities to consider how long-term such a program will be.
I mean, it does mean that these persons who are being employed, whilst they may be under the taxable income bracket, they will now become a consumer once again. The loss of employment at Ross University was a hard hit, especially for the north side of the island, already struggling economically in comparison to Roseau. So what you're looking at is the creation of employment, which is the fostering of a consumer. But at the same point in time, it's a recurrent expenditure. So is it going to be a long-term expense with no return on that investment in the long end? So actions that are taken today must be mindful of what the results will be in the next 3 to 5 years.
Thompson pointed out it's not only the private sector that should adopt smart investments. A displaced disabled man requires urgent help to repair his house, as he says he does not want to spend the next hurricane season moving from one place to another. Joseph has tried to help himself with a disaster relief stipend from the Dominica Red Cross. However, he feels like his plea is falling on deaf ears. This past few months have been a difficult situation for him since the housing unit near Forestry Division is not wheelchair friendly.
Since we on our own, we have got nobody cooking for us, who have people to bring food for them, you know. Although our family, you know, but at least, you know, they'll be so busy, so they haven't got much time for me. So just call it on my own, you know, and sometimes my friend bring food for me, you know, when he can and things so. So I feel good about it. But the only thing is that, you know, I can cook, but it's just that I just haven't got a stove there. And I asked a few people about the stove. They're trying to see they can do something for me, you know, to bring a stove for me. But I don't know when. Because I tell them and things so that I'm going to see myself buying a stove this month end. So they told me to hold the money and then they will see what they can do to bring a stove. I have a few patients, so I'm having a patient still about it. And when they come, they say they're going to put that a little lower down for me because they say, well, you know, that I force him to, you know, to take water in.
While he has made a start at renovating his River Street home, there has been some delay to no fault of his.
My friend, he came in one of these Sunday and he and his brother and his cousin and they fixed up the roof for me. It was good. And we buy pins, but you haven't pin there. They have to paint the inside and plus paint the bathroom and the toilet. But we can't do it now because, as I told you, my cousin, using this spot there, and they have all the materials inside the place, so we don't to paint the next thing, the dirty. So I just have to wait until they finish do everything, because right now they put in the upstairs. And when they finish do everything, then my friend will, same person and his cousin and his brother will come and paint there for me and put the carpet on the floor, and then I'll be back at my home.
Fortunately for the man known as Berkey, there is a good Samaritan who has somewhat adopted him.
To me, some people just say, that, strangers doing more things for you than your family itself, And I can see that, I can see that. Because he bringing lunch for me. Sometimes when he have his mother ride, he come in for me and he bring me around the place, Even in case he have to go somewhere in the country, taking me along with him. Because he find, well, he don't to see me, they are so lonely, and things. So he bring me out, and that's a good thing, He bringing me and take my bath, and his mother herself appreciated what he doing for me, because his mother is a good person to me, because now and then, when I go at his home, Mount Prosper, he's from Mount Prosper, and he's a married guy, yeah. The family nice to me,
In more news, 5 months after Hurricane Maria, the public is still being cautioned to take steps to control and prevent mold growth. Andrea Louis tells us more.
The issue of mold first arose last November as the uncovered buildings, coupled with leaking and flooding caused by Hurricane Maria, led to the rampant spread of mold. Since then, the Environmental Health Department has been on a drive to educate the public on how to spot and get rid of mold in their work and residential buildings. Senior Environmental Health Officer Isabella John explained that the presence of mold can have adverse health effects on individuals, and luckily, the number of calls regarding mold complaints has dropped.
Now, there are persons who have underlying respiratory conditions. If you are in a building where you have mold issue, it will start to affect you. There are persons, they start to have irritation of the skin, irritation of the eyes, sneezing, coughing, burning of the throat. Some persons might have tightness of the chest, headache. So these are all signs that there is something in the air, inside the structure, that is affecting you. And not only can it trigger allergic reactions, but depending on the type of mold, it might have a long-term effect. And right now, we have 1 or 2 cases. Persons do call and say, I would like you to come to see whether it's mold I have, or I have some issue, can you give me a little advice? So I think the number of cases right kind of decreasing, because I think probably persons know now what to do.
John stressed that moisture is key for the growth and the spread of mold. This news does not augur well for those whose houses are still covered with tarpaulin 5 months after Hurricane Maria.
When we go to do inspections, we'd advise persons what to do. You clean, you throw out things that are moldy, especially like documents, papers and books that you cannot salvage or you cannot wash them and so on. But if you can clean your surfaces, clean your chairs, your cushions and so on, we advise persons to clean them. We advise persons, if you have a mold issue, you could use bleach, you could use vinegar to clean. Apart from the cleaning, persons have to cover their structures. They have to cover the building, because as long as you have moisture coming in, even if you clean out the mold, it will still continue growing. So persons have to cover, persons have to seal. If you have any cracks in your walls and so on, you have to seal it to prevent the moisture from coming in.
Normally, during this time of year, Dominicans would be expecting a spell of dry weather, what is locally called kawem. However, with the ongoing climate change trend, an extended period of dry weather is no longer a guarantee.
Even if the weather condition changes, because we don't have just this dry spell only. We have on and off, we have the little rain. The issue will not go away unless you stop the leaks. You must stop the leaks. If you don't stop the leaks, even if you clean, even if we have dry weather, you will still have the issue of mold. Probably you might not see it because even if you clean the surface, and especially persons who have the rugs and so on, you might not see it growing on the rugs, but it might be under the rug. It might be in the wall, especially persons who have wooden structures or what we call the partitions and so on. It might be in it. So you might not see it, but it is there, and eventually when it starts to grow, you're going to smell it, and then you're going to see it surfacing.
You're watching Channel 5 News. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Rudolf Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolf Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fence pipe. Check out Rudolf Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolf Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Welcome back. One of the beneficiaries of the Wisdom to Know program has taken it upon himself to keep a similar agenda for men in need. Andrea Louis explains.
Wisdom to Know is a drug rehabilitation center initiated and run by Bonte Liverpool, who was successful in helping young men turn their lives around after being hooked on alcohol, narcotics, and other drugs. Channel 5 News learned from the residents there that shortly after the hurricane, Liverpool indicated that he will no longer be running the program. Upon a visit to the facility, we encountered Vanley Joseph, who is pretty much the man in charge for the time being. Joseph says the facility is in dire need of assistance, and top on the agenda is providing a more secure setting for the men who seek refuge and help.
Right now we have 5, and I check in. I can't just leave it like that, because I know there are people who need help. There are homeless people, there are addicts also. But what I am doing, I'm just trying my best to cook food every day, like what Mr. Liverpool used to do. Cook food, and make sure they clean, they have clean clothes and stuff like that. So praise God for the guides, the commission of the guides. After the hurricane we was there, they break down totally. So she tell us to stay there for the time, but their self, as you can see, is not all that when rain fall, everywhere leaking, and it's a mess,
You mentioned food and shelter. What other sort of assistance would you want from the public or government even?
Well, right now, like Mr. Liverpool used to do, we have a program. I copy this program, and when the guy is here in the day, we will have different lectures. Now and then, there is a counselor who pass and give us legal counseling, and basically we just following Mr. Liverpool's program. But I would really like to see if we could get some kind of a support, because some of the guys that come in here, they don't have clothes, they don't have shoes, and even financial help too, because right now he's on, as you can see, on wood we cooking.
You said 5 of you are staying here. What exactly do they do, I guess, to occupy their time during the day especially?
Well, we have a backyard garden. We go there in the afternoons. In the day, during the course of the day, from about 10, 11, 12, we break for lunch. I take the personal responsibility to cook food, breakfast, lunch, and supper. And we have different programs, like I tell you, In the morning, we'll do meditation, then we will talk about ourselves. We'll hold AA meetings and NA meetings, which is very important also, in recovery. And what we do again in the afternoon, we spend time in the garden. That's what we do, yeah.
You mentioned it's difficult to get assistance and support, but what about the purchasing of food? How do you get money to buy the basic necessities, the bare necessities?
Well, right now I go around, thanks to the local government people down there, they just let me wash the cars. Right now that's what I'm doing, I just washing a car down there for somebody. She'll give me a $10 or $15 or $20, I'll take it, I'll buy food for the guys. That's how we go about doing it right now, we got some food from Rich, but praise God, it helped us, but insufficient, for 5 guys. Every day you have to boil food for 5 men. That's a lot of food, you know what I mean? So I try.
Based on the current structure that you're saying, there's no electricity, no running water either. How do you deal with that situation?
Well, we use water. The guys will carry water from the pipe, or the cemetery have a pipe also. For electricity, my fire site, when I light it in the night and I put a couple pieces of wood on it, well, it gives us light. If I have extra money, I will buy candles and so, but when we don't have candles, we use the fireside for light. Yeah, that's what we do.
How helpful would you say this place is to those in need?
Well, praise the Lord is helpful because the guys what does really warm my heart and encourage me is when they eat and they bathe and they relax. They would say, boy, only thank you, boy, because, you know, I don't know where I'll get supper tonight and things like that. So it does warm my heart. It does encourage me to go on.
According to Joseph, the facility provided care for 8 men before the hurricane. Since the storm, 1 of the men has died and 2 have moved out of the building.
Cuba's ambassador to Dominica has described as unfortunate the U.S. President Donald Trump's reinstatement of the over 50-year-old embargo on his country. The two countries have shared an estranged relationship since the embargo was first placed on Cuba back in 1962. Under former U.S. President Barack Obama, the U.S. restored diplomatic relations with Cuba, easing the 5 decades of hostility between the two. Last year, U.S. President Trump announced that he would reverse Obama's decision to open relations with the island nation of 11 million people. At the United Nations General Assembly late last year, the United States once again voted against the resolution calling for the repeal of the embargo. Cuba's ambassador to Dominica says this most recent decision has made things more difficult for the country.
So he put back many measures that government Obama took, and now the situation is worse. So we have diplomatic relations, but also they almost closed the U.S. embassy in Havana. And it's difficult because now Cuban citizens, in order to get the visa, they have to fly to Colombia. And even it's not sure that they can get the visa. So it's very difficult. You know, we have a big Cuban community in U.S., most of them in Florida, and it's very difficult for Cuban citizens to get the visa. And also, so he's reinforced the embargo. So the situation now is very difficult. It's a tension. A big tension in the bilateral relation.
The ambassador says regardless of this, the country will continue to look forward as it expects better days ahead.
But anyway, we will continue making our Cuban revolution. So we have been with the embargo more than 50 years. And this president will pass. So you will see. So now we keep the revolution, we keep the Cuban revolution, and with the solidarity of Latin American, Caribbean countries, so we will continue our revolution. The problem with the embargo is that only the Congress has the right to end the embargo. And now the Congress is a Republican. So it will be difficult that the Congress decide to end the embargo. Also, if the President Trump decide to reinforce the embargo. So I think that we will have difficult years, at least 3 or 4 years. But anyway, so we have experience, we have solidarity from other countries, and we will continue making revolution.
And Police Chief Daniel Carbon has vowed to endorse initiatives by the Police Welfare Association. However, its chairman Jefferson Drago says bad management has been affecting morale among officers. Drago told the police administration at a recent ceremony that there are several challenges confronting his colleagues.
The public is applying some pressure on us, but we are accustomed with that. The management of the police force, there are certain things that have to change. The strategy, the guidelines, the policies. So as we move forward, as we go forward, we want to work with the administration so that we can bring unity to the police force. The police force can come back to what it used to be. Personal interaction is not there. And sometimes we look forward sometimes to see you more here, Mr. Minister, with us, mingling with us. And you can get a bird's eye view or know what is happening, and you'll be better able to deal with the problems and the situations that that we're having.
He took the opportunity to thank government for allocating funds for renovation of their canteen and kitchen area. He has also proposed several activities that the administration can partner with the association to host, with a view to building unity within the force.
Within the force, unity and togetherness is something that is required and is something we have to work towards. Policemen are not expected to go out there to activities when we have our area here. You see here? We can have our activities here. We can have our karaoke here. We can have little activities here. We can have panel discussions. You can have things. Once the police administration and the Police Welfare Association, they're working together, I believe a lot can be done.
Meantime, Police Chief Daniel Carbon commended the executive of the PWA for a recent ceremony to bring his men together and award retired police officers.
That came from the budget of the police administration, government funds, but it came from my budget. Mr. Chairman, you can rest assured that the Chief of Police will always stand by you and your executive with positive initiatives. When something is good, say it's good. And so I am standing by you.
That's news. Your sports highlights next.
Do you need more cash for that home improvement? Then come to Fast Cash, where we give you more. At Fast Cash, our customers get more funds and more time to repay. But wait, can't come to us? We'll come to you, and our mobile officer will get you on your way. Small businesses, consumers, and taxi owners. Fast Cash has more for everyone. Simply call or visit any of our locations for more. Smarter, faster, better. Fast Cash. Terms and conditions apply.
When persons with TB sneeze or cough, healthy persons nearby breathe in the droplets and the bacteria can lodge in their lungs. People with weakened immune systems such as HIV/AIDS, alcohol and drug users, smokers, children, and the elderly are most susceptible. Persons with a cough should take precautions when in contact with persons in public places. Cover your mouth when sneezing and coughing. Visit your doctor or health center. You must complete your treatment. TB can be cured even with HIV. Be responsible. Help stop the spread of TB and HIV. Protect yourself and others.
Cricket takes the first knock. Jason Holder has sounded the call for fans to rally round the West Indies as they begin their campaign to earn a place in the 2019 World Cup. The Windies was an automatic pick in each of the past 11 episodes and a back-to-back champions in 1975 and 1979, but now has to go through a qualifying tournament to even take part in the ICC event. However, after expressing disappointment at such a turn of events, Holder appealed to the rich history of West Indies cricket and announced that they were putting things in place to win a third world title. Meantime, the Windies will be going into a qualifying tournament that entertains 10 competitors but only allows 2 to progress. West Indies boasts of the likes of Chris Gayle, who has come off a 2-year ODI break in 2017. Marlon Samuels, who has a history of saving his best for World Cups, is also back in the squad, having missed their most recent 50-over assignment in New Zealand.
Obviously, it's something new for us. You know, we've never been able to, or we've never had to qualify for a World Cup. It will be a new challenge. You know, all these associate teams tend to play fearless cricket and quite aggressive cricket, and you know, trying to take down the bigger nations. So for us, it's just a step-by-step, game-by-game process. We've really got to execute and make sure we nail down all of our plans strategically. I'm very, very confident that we can still, you know, come out victorious in this competition. I think it will give us some momentum heading into the 2019 World Cup. having some solid cricket under our belts, and hopefully we can use that momentum wisely and head into the World Cup with full confidence. We've put ourselves in this situation. We've only got ourselves to blame. Obviously, with the new advent of the new rule in terms of the qualification, only 8 teams can qualify up front, and then the other teams have to play in the qualifiers. So, we're here for a reason. Obviously, our form of late hasn't been the best, and it's a matter for us, to put that behind and make things right. And as I said before, we've got a pretty good team heading into the World Cup. I'm very confident these guys can do the job for us and make us qualify for the 2019 World Cup. It must be a step-by-step process. I don't want to look too far ahead and get too ahead of ourselves, basically. So for us, just being consistent, I think we need to be consistent in all 3 departments. Be very, very precise and particular about our execution and how we want to execute. I think once we do that, then we should be in a really good stead at the end of the tournament.
The full squad reads: Jason Holder, captain; Jason Mohammed, vice captain; Devendra Bishu, Carlos Brathwaite, Sheldon Cottrell, Chris Gale, Shimron Hetmeyer, Shai Hope, Evan Luis, Nikita Miller, Ashley Nurse, Rovman Powell, Kemar Roach, Marlon Samuels, and Kesrick Williams. West Indies play their first match against United Arab Emirates on March 6 in the World Cup qualifiers, but have a warm-up game against Afghanistan on Tuesday. Meantime, West Indies did not have a good start in the World Cup qualifiers when they suffered a 29-run Duckworth-Lewis defeat against Afghanistan in a warm-up match on Tuesday. Sent into bat, Afghanistan went on to score 163 for 9 in their 35 overs. Gulbuddin Naib was their most impressive batsman with 48, followed by Samila Shenwari's 42 not out. Sheldon Cottrell brought some hope for the Windies, taking 3 wickets for 43 runs. Set 140 for victory, West Indies fell short and was dismissed for 110 in 26.4 overs. Evan Luis scored 36, while Marlon Samuels came in with 34. Opener Chris Gale was dismissed for 9 runs. Dawlat Zadran took 4 for 26 for Afghanistan. West Indies will come up against United Arab Emirates in their next match on Thursday at Harar. Moving on to football, where ACS Tarish United had a convincing win in their debut appearance of the 2018 All-Nations Cup over the weekend. Tarish went on to take down Bath Estate Football Club 4-0 at Windsor Park Sports Stadium, also in their first appearance in the tournament. Javon Abraham scored a brace, while Chris Weeks and Jemiah Timothy netted 1 apiece. In the other match, Belfast Estate Mahusuka Strikers won by default over Buster Warner, while in Sunday's match, Police Sports Club got default points over Delton United. Meantime, in the Under-15 Girls League on Saturday, North Blazers hammered Southern Alpha Warriors 6-0 at Stock Farm Complex. Star Humphrey registered a beaver trick, while Eva John Lewis added 2. In the other match, East Jaguars and the Central Tornadoes played to a goalless draw. Back with more cricket, we can tell you that England Lions trailed by 216 runs, with all wickets intact after day 1 of their 3rd unofficial test on Monday. West Indies won the toss and elected to bat first and was bowled out for 236. Shamar Brooks had the most resistance at the crease to score 63. Rakeem Cornwall added 33 of 61 balls, and John Campbell 33 of 83. S. Mohammed took 3 for 50 and Jack Leach 3 for 58 for Lions. England finished on 20 without loss, K. Jennings 9 without loss, and H. Hamid 8 not out. So far, West Indies lead the series 2-0. That's all the sporting highlights for now. I am Kenny Williams. Join us next time.
To end the news, the headlines again. DEA President has some advice for government as it prepares to create 1,100 jobs. Urgent help needed for a displaced disabled man to relocate to his home. And beware of mold infestation, the Environmental Health Department cautions. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Idona John Baptist. Thanks for watching. Join us again tomorrow.